Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, December 30th, 2021. Trying to be quick here today. College football bowl games, college basketball, NBA, NHL recap last night. Look ahead to tonight. News and notes and best bets. So quick and easy show today. We'll start with college football bowl games. We will go over results and we will look ahead to a busy day today in college football. All right, so without further ado, here we go. So, the Fenway Bowl, as we know, was canceled. Pinstripe Bowl, Maryland kills Virginia Tech 54-10 as Maryland finishes its season at 7-6, Virginia Tech 6-7. So, I got that game right. The Cheez-It Bowl, number 19, Clemson over Iowa State 20-13. I was right about that one, too. Clemson 10-3, Iowa State 7-6. And this one I was wrong about. The Alamo Bowl, number 16, Oklahoma over number 14, Oregon 47-32. Oklahoma 11-2. And Oregon 10-4. All right, 4 games today, 11:30 on ESPN. So this is going to start in less than an hour. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, North Carolina and South Carolina. My projection here is UNC by a half, total 57.7. Meanwhile, it is North Carolina by 11.5, total 57.5. I mean, this is solely because Sam Howell's playing. That's why the line is that high. But I like South Carolina here, getting the points. I absolutely love it. I think that they're going to play hard. They've been the team that's been dismissed all year. So give me South Carolina plus the 11.5, and I give them a shot to an outright, too, at plus 320. Next up, the Music City Bowl, 3 o'clock on ESPN, Tennessee and Purdue. My projection is Tennessee by 1. Meanwhile, it's Tennessee by 7.5, total of 65.5. No one's really playing for Purdue. That's why everything is so high in terms of a spread and whatnot. So I have a 6.5 point edge on Purdue. But I have an even larger edge on the under. So I'm going to go with the under in this game as my podcast pick, and Purdue as the second choice. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium Peach Bowl. So we have a New Year's Six Bowl tonight. Number 12 Pitt, number 10 Michigan State. A lot of guys out for this game. No Kenneth Walker, no Kenny Pickett. So that's unfortunate. I project Sparty by 1.5, total 61-65. Meanwhile, it's 3-56. I like the over. I still think that this could be a high-scoring game, despite the absences in this game. So I'm going to go over 56, and I have a slight lean to Pitt. And last but not least for tonight, 10:30 on ESPN, the Las Vegas Bowl, Wisconsin and Arizona State. My projection for this game is Wisconsin by 1, total 46-15. Meanwhile, it is Wisconsin by 7, total 42. I love Zona State plus the points. I think that this will be a close game. I know Zona State's missing a lot of guys, but I think Wisconsin, is a team that I could just see, not putting their best foot forward and putting their foot on the gas pedal here. So I think this will be a close game. Giving Arizona State plus a 7, and I give them a shot to win outright plus 210. And my second podcast pick here will be the over. All right, now move on to college basketball. We'll do a quick recap of the games from last night. And we will look ahead to a busy game slate for tonight. So, here we go. Number 10, Michigan State over High Point, 81-68. Air Force over Utah State, 49-47. Jacksonville over Carver College, 98-45. Miami of Ohio over Buffalo, 91-81. Central Michigan over Kent State, 72-69. Number 3, Purdue over Nichols, 104-90. Butler over DePaul, 63-59. Mississippi State over Arkansas, 81-68. Youngstown State over Defiance, 96-56. Stony Brook over Farmingdale, 87-57. Number 11, Auburn over number 16, LSU, 70-55. Number 21, Providence over number 15, Seton 70-65. Number 18, Kentucky over Missouri, 83-56. Syracuse over Cornell, 80-68. Indiana State over Midway, 107-51. Lehigh over Eastern University, 70-63. Morehead State over Eastern Illinois, 63-50. Gardner-Webb over Georgia, 77-60. Wagner over St. Fran, PA, 72-64. Sacramento over Long Island, 69-65. Fairleigh Dickinson over Mount St. Mary's in a forfeit. Merrimack over St. Francis, Brooklyn, 74-64. Bryan over Central Connecticut, 80-76. VMI over Wofford, 80-73. Furman over Sanford, 81-49. William and Mary over Hofstra, 63-62. UNC Wilmington over Delaware, 70-68. Alon over Northeastern, 79-62. Toledo over Western Michigan, 83-56. Number 6, Kansas over Nevada, 88-61. Number 24, Wisconsin over Illinois State, 89-85. SMU over Tulsa, 74-69. Tulane over Memphis, 85-84. St. Thomas, Minnesota over North Central University, 97-45. Iowa over Western Illinois, 92-71. Louisville over Wake, 73-69. Texas A&M over Central Arkansas, 85-59. Number 19, Alabama over number 14, Tennessee, 73-68. Miami over NC State, 91-83. BYU over Westminster, Utah, 65-43. New Hampshire, Dartmouth, number 2, Duke, Clemson, postponed. Southeast Baptist, Jackson State, canceled. SC State, South Carolina, postponed. TCU, Texas Southern, canceled. Florida State, BC, Ball State, Northern Illinois, Florida, Ole Miss, postponed. Delaware State, Penn State, canceled. Drexel, Charleston, Wichita State, East Carolina, postponed. Radford, UMBC, canceled. UNC Asheville, Indiana, Miss Valley State, South Florida. Alameda, Binghamton, canceled. Bucknell, Albany, Virginia Tech, UNC Greensboro, Western Carolina, Mercer, Citadel, Akron, Bowling Green, all postponed. Florida National, Bethune-Cookman, canceled. Norfolk State, Campbell, postponed. Wartburg, Northern Iowa, Moab, Southern East Louisiana, canceled. Marquette, St. John's, postponed. North Florida, Kansas State, Alcorn State, Minnesota, Bellarmine, Bradley, canceled. Temple, number 22, Villanova, postponed. Florida A&M, canceled against Illinois. And in Wazoo, Washington, postponed. All right, so now we're going to look ahead to today's games. Stephen F. Austin wins over Texas Rio Grande due to forfeit. 12 o'clock, we have Ecclesia McNeese. We can skip that. 1 o'clock, Evan Gold, Missouri State. We can skip. Big Ten, Eric, Maine, and Rutgers. My projection is Rutgers by 22.5. Meanwhile, Rutgers is giving 24.5 totals, 123.5. I'll take Maine in the points. 3 o'clock, Point Stetson, we can skip. 4 o'clock, Columbia International SC Upstate. Mid-Georgia State, Jacksonville State, we can skip. 6:30 on ESPN Plus, Louisiana and App State. So we have Sun Belt Conference play. We have a lot of conference play today, which is fun. I project App State by 3/4. And this line is 2.5 and 135.5. So I don't have a large enough edge to bet on Louisiana. So I'm going to go with the total 135.5. I'll take the over. 7 o'clock, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Cleveland State. My projection is Cleveland State by 17.25. And it's 10.5 and 141.5. I'll lay it with Cleveland State. Trey McConnell, Presbyterian. We can skip Old Dominion, FIU. So Conference USA conference play. My projection for this game is FIU by 3. And it's 1.5 and 127.5. I'll take the over. Michigan at UCF on ESPN2. My projection is Michigan by 2.5. And it's 3 and 138.5. I'll take the over. Brown, Maryland. Got to do a projection here on the fly because I forgot about this game. So projections on the fly are not always fun, you know that. And then so it looks like here that Maryland I project as a 14.25 favorite, so that didn't take that long. And Maryland is giving 12.5 total, 133.5. Not enough to bet on Brown. I'll take the over. Toccoa Falls and Kennesaw State, we can skip. Robert Morris, Oakland. My projection is Oakland 18. And it is 12.5 and 149.5 LA with Oakland. Milwaukee, Wright State. My projection is Wright State by 7.5. And it's 9.5 and 142.5. I'll take Milwaukee in the points. Green Bay, Northern Kentucky. My projection is Northern Kentucky by 18. And it's 8.5 and 128.5. I'm laying the points in Northern Kentucky. Yale, Monroe, and Coastal Carolina. My projection is Coastal by 9.75. And it's 5.5 and 141.5 LA with Coastal. Fordham, LaSalle. My projection is LaSalle by 3. And it's 2.5 and 134.5. I'll take the under in that game, only because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. St. Joe's, Richmond. My projection is Richmond 18. And it's 11.5 and 144.5 LA with Richmond. East Tennessee State and Chattanooga. My projection is Chattanooga 8.5, and it's 7.5 and 134.5. I'll take the over. UTEP and UAB at 7:30. My projection is UAB by 14.75. Meanwhile, it is 11.5 and 136.5. I'm going to lay it with UAB. Lamar and Sam Houston. My projection is Sam Houston by 13.5, and it's 9.5 and 134.5. I'll lay with Sam Houston. Georgia Southern and Little Rock. My projection is Little Rock by 3.75, and it's Georgia Southern by 3.5 total. 137. I'll take Little Rock plus the 3.5 and plus 152 to win the game outright. Alabama A&M and Lipscomb at 8 o'clock. My projection is Lipscomb by 23.75. And it's 8.5 and 133.5 LA with Lipscomb. Southeast Missouri State and Murray State. My projection is Murray by 12.5. And it's 18.5 and 149.5. I'll take Southeast Missouri State plus the 18.5. Chicago State and Grand Canyon. My projection is Grand Canyon by a whopping 29.25. Meanwhile, it's 22.5 and 124.5 LA with Grand Canyon. App Christian and Utah Valley. My projection is Utah Valley by 3/4. Meanwhile, it is App Christian by 1.5 total, 134.5. I have enough to bet on Utah Valley State plus 1.5 and even money on the money line. And so it's bettable at that number. Troy and Texas State. My projection is Texas State by 12.75. And it's 8.5 and 130.5 LA with Texas State. South Alabama and UT Arlington. My projection is South Alabama by 10.5. And it's 2.5 and 134.5 LA with South Alabama. Denver and Oral Roberts. My projection is Oral Roberts by 15. And it's 14.5 and 143.5. I'll take the over. South Dakota State and North Dakota State. My projection is North Dakota State by 1/4. And I don't see a number. on here for this game. I'm double checking. And see if DraftKings has it instead of FanDuel. This game didn't get postponed, did it? Because I don't see the game posted. On here. Weirdly enough, it must have gotten postponed because I don't see anything about it. But North Dakota by a half. Meanwhile, on ESPN it says South Dakota State by 2.5. So North Dakota State, if it's still on, is bettable straight up. 8:30 Tennessee Martin Austin P. My projection is Austin P by 9.5. Meanwhile, it's 5.5 and 140.5. I'll lay with Austin P. 9 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network, Utah and Oregon State. My projection is Oregon State actually by a quarter, and the total for this game is 140.5, and the line's 4.5. I'm going to take Oregon State plus the 4.5 and plus 160. This is the last time I'm doing this all season because no team has let me down in my projections this year than Oregon State. Marshall and Louisiana Tech. My projection is Louisiana Tech by 9 3/4. And it's 7-155.5. I'll lay the 7 with La Tech. Sacramento State and Southern Utah. My projection is Southern Utah by 14 3/4. And it's 15.5 and 143.5. I'll take the over. Weber State, Montana State. My projection is Montana State by 2, and it's 2.5 and 145.5. I'll take the over. Idaho State and Montana. My projection is Montana by 11.5. And it's 11.5 and 121.5. I'll take the over. That's low. Tarleton and Dixie State. My projection is Dixie State by 3, and it's Tarleton State by 3.5 total. 132.5. I'm taking Dixie plus the 3.5 and plus 150 to win outright. 10 o'clock, UC Santa Barbara, UC San Diego. My projection is UC Santa Barbara by 12. And it's 3.5 and 137.5. I'll lay with Santa Barbara. Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Bakersfield. My projection is Bakersfield by 6. And it's 1.5 and 124.5. I'll lay with Bakersfield. And last but not least, Eastern Washington, Portland State. My projection for this game is Eastern by 1. And it's Portland State by 2.5, total 145.5. I'll take Eastern Washington plus the 2.5 and plus 114 straight up. Long Beach State, Cal Poly. Is that a postponed game? Canceled game, but the line's still up. That's weird. It must have not remembered. It is what it is, though. All right, NBA. We'll recap the games from last night, and we will look ahead to the slate for tonight. Knicks over the Pistons, 94-85, so best bet was a winner. Knicks 17-18, Detroit 5-28. Hornets over the Pacers, 116-108. Charlotte 19-17, Indiana 14-21. Clippers over the Celtics, 91-82. Clippers 18-17, Celtics 16-19. Bulls over the Hawks, 131-117. The Bulls 22-10, Atlanta 15-19. Grizzlies over the Lakers, 104-99. Grizzlies 22-14, Lakers 17-19. Suns over the Thunder, 115-97. The Suns 27-7. Oklahoma City 12-22. Jazz over the Trailblazers, 120-105. The Jazz 25-9. Portland 13-21. Kings over the Mavericks, 95-94 on the buzzer beater 3 by Chimezie Metu. Sacramento's 15-21. Dallas 16-18. Only 4 games tonight, 7 o'clock NBA TV. 76ers Nets. My projection is Brooklyn 10 3/4. I did not do totals for the show today, and it is 4.5 and 221.5. I'll lay the points with Brooklyn. Bucks Magic. My projection is Milwaukee by 25 and 3/4. And it's 14 and 1, 217 FLA with the Bucks. Cavaliers, Wizards. My projection is Wizards by 9.5, and it is 3.5 and 211. I'm going to lay with the Wiz. And last but not least, 9:30 NBA TV, Warriors, Nuggets. My projection is Warriors by 5.25, and it's 4 and 2, 14.5. I'll take the under. Now we'll move on to the NHL. We will recap the games from last night, and I will look ahead to the games for tonight. Devils over Sabres 4-3. Devils 11-15-5. Buffalo 10-16-5. Panthers over the Rangers 4-3. Panthers 19-7-4. Rangers 19-8-4. Capitals over the Predators 5-3. The Capitals 19-6-7. Nashville 19-11-1. Blues over the Oilers 4-2. The Blues 18-9-5. Edmonton 18-12-0. Flyers over the Kraken 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Ivan Provorov. Philly 13-12-5, Seattle 10-17-4, and the Canucks over the Ducks 2-1 in OT. The Canucks 15-15-2, Anaheim 17-9-7. All right, now we look ahead to tonight. 7 games, no postponements. That's fabulous for the NHL. 7 o'clock, you have the Lightning and the Panthers. Panthers on the second of a back-to-back. And our minus 154 favorites at home. Tampa's plus 128, over under 6.5. Over's minus 118. Under's minus 104. Tampa plus 1.5 is minus 205. Florida minus 1.5 is plus 164. Florida over seemed like a given. So I'm going to go over 6.5 again at minus 118. Preds, Jackets. Each team's minus 110. Over under 5.5. Over's minus 118. Under's minus 104. Nashville plus 1.5 is minus 310. Columbus minus 1.5 is plus 240. I think it's wild that Columbus is de facto favorite here. Wrong team's favorite. Giving Nashville minus 110. Canadians, Hurricanes. Carolina's minus 385. Montreal's 3-1. Over under 6. Over is even money. Under's minus 122. Montreal plus 1.5 is plus 116. Carolina minus 1.5 is minus 142. I'm going to go contrarian over at even money. Sabres, Islanders. Islanders minus 230, Buffalo plus 188, over under 5.5, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 150, Islanders minus 1.5 is plus 122. Tough call, but I'm going to go with the under. 10 o'clock, Flames, Kraken. The Flames are minus 176, the Kraken are plus 146, over under 5.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Flames minus 1.5 is plus 152, Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 188. The pick here is going to be the Flames in regulation. I can't pull it up. Here we go. Flames in regulation at minus 110. 10:30, Canucks, Kings. The Canucks going for, I believe it's 8 in a row. Yes. Canucks going for 8-0 under Bruce Boudreau tonight. Are plus 118 underdogs. Kings are minus 142, over under 5.5. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 235. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 186. Tough one, but I'm going to go with the over. I think this is an over game. I think this is where the Canucks streak can come to an end, but that's why I'm not going to pull the trigger on the Canucks plus the money line. But instead, I'll go with the over, 5.5 at minus 114. That'd be a smart, same gamer right there. Canucks and the over. And then the Flyers and the Sharks. The Sharks are minus 160. The Flyers are plus 132, over under 6, minus 110 each way. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 205. Sharks minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm going to go with the Flyers. I don't think the Sharks should be that big of a favorite. I know the Flyers are on the second of a back-to-back. That's why I stayed away from Vancouver. But I do like Philadelphia plus 132, a little more than the over because it's at 6, and I think that could be a push. So I'm going to go with the Flyers plus 132 at San Jose to win outright. All right, news and notes for today. Not that much to talk about. So I'm just going to get right into it. So, Big Ben says Monday Night Football likely it in Pitt, as the quarterback says all signs are pointing to Monday Night Football against the Browns being his last Steelers home game, which is very sad, and that is amid his retirement rumors. So the NHL shortened its isolation period to 5 days with a negative test if allowed by local health authorities, because that's in the wake of the CDC. Ricky Rubio tore his Achilles his ACL to end his season. That's really sad. He's been a big part of what the Cavs have done this year, and then the Cavs go out and lost to the Pelicans the night he got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo could play Sunday despite the thumb injury. That could hurt the 49ers down the stretch, whether he plays or not. Like his injury and how effective he is. Adam Thielen out for the rest of the season due to an ankle injury. He's going to get surgery. That's unfortunate for Minnesota. Candace Parker named AP Athlete Female of the Year after leading the Sky to their championship. Dan Quinn passing on the Jaguars after the team requested to speak with him. And Doug Peterson will be the first to interview for the job. Kyle Seager retires from Major League Baseball after 11 seasons. So, congratulations to Kyle Seager. Very good career. Injuries really hurt him, or else he would have had probably a better career. Some non-sports news. So New Year's Eve crowds, there's like the big story. Anthony Fauci talking and whatnot. He warned everybody against hugging and kissing at New Year's parties. I know he's specifically talking about the one in New York City. LL Cool J pulls out of New Year's Rockin' Eve due to a positive COVID-19 test. That's unfortunate. And the other interesting thing that's happened over the last little bit or so is that a New Jersey Walmart closed for sanitation after a worker reportedly tested positive. That's really scary, and then luckily that store reopened today in New Jersey. And Eric Adams will be sworn in after New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square. So that's pretty cool. So no more de Blasio. In comes Eric Adams. And New York smashes pandemic record with 67,000 COVID cases. And Hochul is preparing for a January surge. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. It's going to go in college basketball after last night's NBA pick of the Knicks was a winner. And today I'm going to college football. I'm going to lay 2 units on South Carolina plus 12.5 against North Carolina. I just love South Carolina to cover this game. They can win too. So South Carolina plus 12.5 against UNC as my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything in college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL. Look ahead to tomorrow. We'll do NBA Power Rankings on the show. We have the NFL picks and the Fab Five in tomorrow's show as well. Hope you guys have a great Thursday, everyone.